should you get and build penance? Short answer, C. Long answer, this entire video.
Lavinia Falcone. Non sono più il giudice di Siracusa. Oggi presto servizio in veste di operatrice Penance.
今回は必ず正しい判決を下してみせる。絶対的な正義が存在しなくとも、私は自分の正義を掲げる。
The law is a means, not an end.
Lavinia Falcone, codename Penance, is a 6-star juggernaut defender from Syracuse. Former city-state judge of Syracuse. As the judge who carries the will of Signora Cecilia, she and other judges are obligated to uphold and apply Syracusan law, performing all judicial duties efficiently, fairly, and impartially. But alas, the mafia families are often in control, interfering in the judge's verdict. Penance herself became a judge with the help of the Bellone family. But even though she is backed by the mafia family, she sees the form of justice controlled by the family is wrong. And so she didn't decide cases entirely on the Bellone's will, but with her beliefs on the real sense of justice. However, there's still a lot she can't do under the mafia's control, and often blame herself for not able to improve the system. But after the events in the city of Volsini, she worked together with Vigil to establish a new and better judicial system. And through Operator Texas, she also joins Rhodes Island, working in the logistics department as a legal counsel. Ali Armstrong was right, a gavel strike can end a life, or even lives. Penance is our second 6-star juggernaut after Mudrick. Personally, with her stylish look, character references, light motif and VA, this gorgeous lady is one of my favorite ops. And she could become your favorite too, with her strong abilities. So, let's see all about her. As a juggernaut, she is tanky but cannot be healed using a normal healing. And note that Penance doesn't have any self-healing ability like Mudrick or Vulcan. Luckily, like most ops with this characteristic, you can heal her using regeneration healing, such as Perfumer and Angelina's talent, Bard supported Trey, or skills like from Bleamy Shine. But truth to be told, Penance almost never need a healing because of her talent that we will talk soon. And then this is her general stats. Undoubtedly tanky and has good attack. In fact, she is the defender with the biggest HP in the game. But she has a very expensive DP cost. Though whether this is a problem or not, depends on the stage and your DP printer. Now moving to her talents. Her first talent and her most important ability. With this she can get 50% barrier equal to her max HP upon deployment. And gain another 6% every time she killed an enemy. Barrier is a new term for a shield that absorbs a certain amount of damage. And based on the operator's certain stats. For example, Gravel S2, Shining S2, and Aladale's shield from episode 11. By the way, in Il Syracuse No the game will update its visual for barrier effect, giving you a clearer view of how many barrier the ops got left. Back to Penance, this talent is very important for her to function properly. She can't be easily healed and doesn't have any self-healing ability. So you'll have to make sure she got enough barrier to survive the stages. She kinda needs a steady flow of enemies that she can kill to maintain her barrier. But if you use her S3 she can obtain it without defeating an enemy first. Having Penance at max level and max barrier translates to roughly 18k HP. A massive amount that can make her withstand almost any hit. Now for her second talent. This will make Penance reflect the enemy's attack with arts damage to anyone that attacked her barrier. It doesn't really give much when she's off skill, although most normal mobs with low HP and defense will most likely be dead. And if she got an attack boost like from other ops or her skill 3, the damage she reflected can be significantly bigger. For example, with her S3, this talent will inflict 2000-ish arts damage. And this is her potential upgrade list. It's a decent one, but not as significant as Texas Alter if I may say. she's pretty much fine without extra pot. And currently, Juggernaut doesn't have module. Now moving to her skills. Her first skill. An auto activation skill, and thankfully it's a per second recovery. Penance deals 1 additional hit equal to 200% of her attacker's arts damage. It can be charged and the effect will multiply her physical damage. And stuns the target for a few seconds. It's a good early skill that deals both constant physical and arts damage. But you probably will rarely use this. This skill barely interacts with her talent. And compared to her other skills, this one doesn't make obtaining barrier any easier. And her other skills can provide bigger damage and also other useful utility. With a relatively cheap SP cost. Now for the second skill. She'll stop attacking enemies directly, gain sanctuary or shelter effect. That reduces physical and arts damage she takes by 60%. Deal 140% AoE arts damage every second, and the barrier she gets from talent 1 will be increased. The skill focuses to boost her defensive capability, either for tanking or stacking up barrier for an incoming threat. It also offers good AoE arts damage to clear out waves of enemies. It's a good defensive and AoE attack skill with an acceptable skill cycle. But in most situations it pales in comparison to her next skill. That also increases her defensive capability by giving a big amount of barrier immediately. And also offers the ability to handle waves of enemies. Last but not least, her third skill, a defensive recovery skill. Immediately gain 130% barrier, her attack interval increases slightly. Increase her attack massively, and increase her aggro level. Simple but very effective skill. My favorite part of this skill is how it gives Penance an instant barrier. So if she doesn't kill enough enemies or going to face a tough foe, this instant barrier is definitely useful. It also gives a crazy amount of attack boost. Makes her attack hit like a truck. And this skill is also the only one that works well with her second talent. Now enemies will receive bigger arts damage if they dare to attack her. And turning her into an awesome bait unit. The only downside of this skill is that this is a defensive recovery. So Penance need to be attacked 20 times before this skill is active. Could be a problem depending on your situation. Though generally it's nothing to be worried about. Especially if you have an SP support operator. Also, Bleemy Shine talent can make her gain 1 SP every time she attack. But among all, Stainless S2 devices work best with this. Overall, this a top tier skill that makes her a top tier lane holder. For skill mastery priority, skill 3 should be prioritized. Not only it tied her kit perfectly. The mastery gain is good, from increasing her attack further. And reducing the SP cost. For her base skills. Skill 1 increases HR contacting speed by plus 50% but increases moral consumed. If I'm not mistaken, this HR contact speed is the biggest one we have so far. And skill 2 will make her boost moral recovery of other operators. When she is in the dorm. So, will Penance become a good operator for your team? Absolutely, an awesome defender that is very tanky. And has an outstanding offensive capability. If you already have Mudrick, don't hesitate to get her. Because Penance generally performed better. But of course Mudrick's shield, self-healing and S3 are preferable in some situation. Back again to Penance. Not only she's a great unit in most general content. But her debut banner is one of the best banners we have so far. With a chance to obtain Texas Altar or other great limited ops. That should be all. Pasta La Vista.